everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Strother.
I'm Sean Spencer.
Back.
We are back.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The lion. The lion. New man on the so fine. Kirk Cousins.
All right. I am Janae Strother.
I am Sean Spencer.
And this is Let's Talk Football.
Just cause I love to talk football, I spread love for my guys that love to talk football. Let somebody holler. I want to talk football. All I want to hear is let's talk football. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that's Let's Talk Football. And I'm here on Wednesday. Happy Hump Day, Washington Football Weekly.
Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I even introduce the shirtless wonder or South Carolina's eggplant, we got to go over to my right. We got somebody who's back with us, baby. Mr. Moral Support himself, Anton Benton. What's up, baby boy? How you doing, man?
What's good, fellas? What's good?
Sir.
Welcome back.
Let's go. So glad to have you.
It's about time to show up.
Hey, hey, we kept your
You
seat
said
warm
it.
for you. Hey, hold him
You kept
accountable.
the
I ain't starting to-
You've kept my seat warm.
Might have some cobwebs on it, but it's all great because you're back, baby. Let's go. Hey, but we have to start the show. Ab mentioned it last week. We lost a legend. Not too long ago, Earl DMX Simmons passed away from complications from a heart attack. He was on life support for a while. Man, you had mentioned, you had said your thing to him when he was on life support, man. You got anything you want to say? I know this must have been hard for you.
So just reaching back from the last week's show, I expressed how far back I go back with him. Never had the chance to meet him, but honestly, through his music, I did meet this man, and it meant a lot to me. Like, his music meant a lot to me, and honestly, I know everybody felt something when Kobe died. I you know what I'm saying, that was a legend that died to everybody. Everyone felt like hurt from that. Other deaths, Michael Jackson, like, I'm trying to tell you, everybody, like, when someone dies, like celebrity, whether you meet them or not, you feel a certain type of way. This one right here kind of like hit me, and it hit me hard, and I didn't feel right for about a week, and it touched me, and it hit me in a different type of way. And honestly, I'm the type of person that, like, I'm sad that he's gone, but I'm also glad that he's not in pain anymore. Mm-hmm. And that's what's important to me. Like, this man's not hurting, he's not in pain. And honestly, like, I think I speak for a lot of people out there. It's like, X, you've done so much for us. Like, his music touched us. I'm trying to tell you, like, it's like, you are a special person. Yeah, and so to me, honestly, please rest easy. We got it down here, just rest easy. And I just want to let you know, we appreciate you. We appreciate you so much. Rest easy, my man.
Well said, man. Yeah. Well said.
Very well said. Ab, I loved what you said last week about, listening to him before football games. And, folks that are our age, he hyped everybody up.
Man.
I mean, like, you talk about legendary.
Yeah.
And what I think is so special about his music was it crossed genres. Yep. They show all this stuff of him at, like, was it like Lollapalooza, or, some like rock concert, and DMX is the highlight.
Atlanta.
I was supposed to go to a concert where it was going to be DMX and Limp Bizkit in DC. And unfortunately, DMX didn't make it that night. I don't know why. But I was equally hyped to see DMX as it was Limp Bizkit. And it was like his music could cross those genres. Like you said, I mean, he hyped everyone up. He was legendary. And like you said, I mean, his music's not gonna end because all I've done is fire it up and play it.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Absolutely.
And you got anything on it?
No, I mean, dude, from the point my sister's 6 years older than me, and I stole his CD from her room. So like it was an emphasis to try and hear like a lot of that music from me as a younger kid. You know, I wanted to be, listening to all that stuff. And when he came out with Great Depression, that was my first CD I bought. So like from hearing him from my sister and hearing him on my own, like he did mean a lot. And the way he talked to people, the way he made himself feel like a bigger man than he actually was. It's a whole different character, and it actually resonates through a lot of us. And, I feel for you, Ab, and I hope, safe travels for going and wherever you're going next Wednesday too, man.
No doubt.
Bless you. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think y'all said it. Y'all hit the nail on the head. Will, you're absolutely right. And everybody else is doing it. They're firing up his songs, playing that stuff over and over, but not just the hype ones, man. Some of the ones that you don't even think about. Like I remember he did one for Cradle with the Grave that he did with Jet Li, that he did one with Aaliyah.
Oh my God.
Back in One Piece, man. Don't do me greasy now.
Look, you about to open the floodgates down there.
You know what I'm
Look
saying?
at you.
we obviously, and I know this one hit you, Ab, man, but Slippin' was, everybody's like Rough Rider Anthem, but Slippin' was my anthem. Right, man.
Falling, I can't get up. I'm trying to tell you, man.
Different phases to find my way. You know what I mean? Like that. It did something. But one of the things, and I posted this on my page, one of the things that really hit me was the interviews he did. Because he talks about the blessing and the curse, and that he was real. Everybody talks about being real and 100 and all this. He was that. He would tell you straight up. He would say cats. Like he did one of the latest interviews where he was like, I don't like Drake. He's like, yo, J. Cole, he cool. Yeah, I don't mess with Jay-Z. I don't mess with, like, he was real, and that's what it was. A lot of people didn't like that. You know what I mean? He had, everybody has their demons they fighting with, but he was real, man. He was just, he let it out. He came from his heart, man. And X, man, you will truly be missed. You truly be missed. Rest easy, man. From Washington Football Weekly, man, we're with you. Real quick, I also want to shout out. I shouted him out a week ago. My old next door neighbor, Jen Allen's dad, Bo Allen, in and out the hospital. We're saying he's fragile. His bones ain't what they used to be. He's got pain, and they're just not understanding where it's coming from, and he's just really been dealing with it. So, he's an amazing man. I want to give him his flowers while he's on this side. I'm not, trying to talk about him as we're talking about DMX and all that stuff. I want to do positive. So shout out to him. Prayers to him. But we are Washington Football Weekly. So let's turn them frowns upside down with a little segment we call Like It, Love It, or
Hate It.
Let's go.
Easy.
Yo. So this week on Like It, Love It, or Hate It, we have a plethora of topics to discuss. But first and foremost, I'll let you start. Washington releases the son of the great Randy Moss, Thaddeus Moss at tight end. How you feel about this, Am?
I mean, what can I say about it? Honestly, I like the potential that was there. Obvious, he's Hall of Famer's son. So honestly, I think a lot of people try to be like, well, if just the fraction of what his father just like it goes is like just follows to him, then he would be awesome on this team. Like I think a lot of people think that way, but like the team released him, and I don't like it because essentially he didn't even have a chance to play. He didn't even have a chance to try out. Like, and that's my biggest thing. Like, you release a person before he even has a chance to try out. So honestly, I'm not too hell bent, heartbroken on it, but at the same time, I just give a young brother a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my only side on it. It's like, give him a chance to at least show you something. But the whole time he was here, he's on IR. So what have you seen out of him while he was on IR that was just like, oh, F him, get him out of here? Like, I like, it wasn't like he was a lot against the cap either. So it just, it seems like a dumb move to me, especially with training camp and everything like that. And especially when we only have literally one tight end before we released him. So
yeah. Will, what you think, man?
Yeah, I'm with you, Ab. I was more confused over it. Like you said it perfectly. Everyone saw what he did in the national championship and that run for LSU. And if you think, I mean, I don't think he dropped a pass in college that senior season, and he caught, first downs and touchdowns, and it was like everything he caught was big. But you also have to remember he had Clyde Edwards-Helaire on his team. He had Justin Jefferson. He had the year they won the Natty, this dude Jamar Chase that sat out. So it was also one of those things. Well, you can't cover everyone, so someone's got to be open, and he kind of capitalized. But more importantly, it's why cut him now? Like, what are you saving by releasing him right now? I do remember in training camp last year, because he was the hype machine for all the fans, and several of the reporters were just saying that he was struggling, and they're like, this guy is either he's not gonna make the team. And so essentially by putting him on IR with that ankle injury, it allowed them to keep him for the whole season, and no one else could pick him up. So then if you did that, why did you cut him right now? Like you say, it's not a big cut. It's not a big deal, but it's like, I agree with you. Like, we could have at least given him a shot, but at least I'll give him this credit. He went to the Bengals. He went back to his old college quarterback. So if you're going to pick places, he picked, who's the Bengals tight end? He picked a spot just with us where he saw it as a chance to make a roster. So I give him that credit.
Yep. Ant, what you got, man?
Man, I agree with you guys on a lot of points. Ab saying, give the young brother a chance. Like, that is the one thing, like, it sucks. Like, we did the same thing to Juice. He had his ankle injury out all year. We tried to give him a chance, and he messed up. And this is almost the same.
Hey, Ant, who are you talking about?
Juice.
You talking about Geis?
Yeah.
Darius Geis?
Yes.
Okay.
Darius Geis. We called him Juice, but
okay. I didn't know who you're talking about.
Sorry. Darius Geis.
Yeah, you gotta elaborate for us, man. When you make up your own
I didn't know him called Juice.
No, you gotta let us know, bro.
All right, go. Welcome back. Welcome back. We haven't been able to get on you, man. You've been gone, man.
I'm playing. That was just playing, man. I'm not even upset. Just no. But anyways. No, it's kind of like the same scenario, but I think it's more the Washington, like, let's not go down this road again. Let's not give a youngster a chance and let him mess us up. And I don't think they believed in Thaddeus enough in order to cut him this late to think, all right, he might give us potential, rather than think, okay, we can move on with him and try and get somebody else that actually will give us something. And I think that's where the Redskins are, the Washington football team are now, is they're like, all right, we need somebody productive now, not wait till he gets better, not try and do something. They're ready for the field. And
going with what we're about to talk about next, it just seems like what you just said, that what have you done for me lately? We know what Thaddeus did in college, but in the NFL, what did I can't even think. Jerry Glanville say? Stands for not for long, and it stands for not for long if you can't stay on the field.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, he has been IR. This seems like one of those moves. It was like clean. We're gonna clear out some space so we can bring somebody in who can actually get on the field. That's what it looks like. I never grew an attachment to Thaddeus Moss outside of him being the son of Randy Moss. And since he never played, it was kind of like there was nothing that was really bringing me in. I hate to see him go like this, but it just brings back that business.
Lost at this point.
But but it was stupid though, because it's like you said, we had Logan Thomas, and that's it. Like, what were you planning on doing? One tight end offense? Like, it didn't make sense.
But that's what I'm saying right here. Is like, especially this time of year, like if I don't know if the rules revert back from before COVID, but you're allowed 90 players on your roster to start off.
There,
You know what I'm saying? Like, and especially when you only have one other tight end on your team. Like, what are you doing? Like, literally,
they're releasing everybody.
It don't make sense. It honestly does not make sense.
Did they just let Cam or Sims go? Cam Sims?
No, he's still on the team.
Oh,
we resigned him.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I thought we let him, but he resigned.
All right, and to move on, one of the reasons why I actually think they did do this, and I'm coming to you first, Washington signs tight end, former Tulane basketball player, Samis Reyes, 6'5", 260, born in Chile. What you think about this, Anton?
I like him. He's a good size, good speed, exactly what we kind of need first ball. And I think he might, if the coaches help him enough, I think he could be a help on the run block. We need it. You know, if we expect what we're going to expect from McKissick and Gibson, I think that would work on the benefit of our sides, because then we can definitely have a 2 tight end offense and have another blocker there.
Yeah. Will.
Hey, I had no idea who this guy was. This signing shocked the heck out of me. I was like, who is this guy? The thing that's kind of intriguing about it is, I guess, after his workout at Florida, there were like 20 teams who reached out to him expressing interest. And he chose us, So maybe, just like Thaddeus Moss chose us as an undrafted free agent. So maybe it's a situation where he says, there's an opportunity there for me. Apparently he said that he lived in the D.C. area this past year, so he's already done things. Hey, let's fire up the hype machine. Everyone's already do it. What's it? Old tight end Logan Paulson said yesterday that he's got better hands than Jimmy Graham, and he thinks he can do even better. So let's fire.
Wow.
Why not?
Wow. Man, are you believing the hype, man? What you think?
I'm not. Honestly, it just shows to me how dumb DC is, and how, literally, to me, literally, this guy hasn't played a dick of football, and everybody is hyped on this man for what? Honestly, everyone's ready to throw Thaddeus Moss, that's actually played on a winning championship team in college, but wow, look at this new guy, this flashy new thing that hasn't even played football before. Wait, what?
Come on, college.
Does he know what a football is? Does he know what it looks like? No, but it's okay. It's all right that he doesn't know what a football is. He is tall and he's somewhat fast, and that's awesome. Come on, man. Washington, honestly, I'm not dogging this man, but for real, man, we let go of a tight end that's actually established, that's actually played football for many a years for a tryout player. That's essentially what we just did. We let go of a player that's played football for all his life for a player that wants to try out for the team.
Mr. Moral Support coming
And
through.
then everybody's jumping on it. Like it's like that's smart. And it's not. Like honestly, to me,
Tell us how you really
give
feel.
the young brother a chance. Give the young brother a chance. I'm all about it. But I'm not liking this, bro. I'm not. Everyone like DC don't know what they talking about. Nobody knows what they talking about. You know what I'm saying? And it's just until he shows something on the field, how are we jumping all in on this dude?
Exactly. Absolutely. Hey, shout out. We got a couple people watching real quick. I want to shout out Josh Epperson, who's agreeing with you, Ab. He's saying dude's probably a practice squad player. You know what I mean? He might not even make the team. Shout out to my guy, Anthony Handy, Zagnep Productions. Check out his podcast. He's inspired, man. It's got big things going. But he's saying, you know what it is? It's basically that Dan wants to test the theory that, like, if you bring a solid, like a Jimmy Graham or a Braun, you know how they say he can transition? They want to test the theory that a basketball player can transition, like an Antonio Gates or something. Shout out to you. Hey, I'm with y'all, man. I hadn't heard of this guy. What I read up about him is that he always dreamed to play basketball, and he didn't make it in the NBA, so then somehow he got to try out with us, and then all of a sudden play. You know, now he's on the team. I can't. Hey, I don't know. I don't
It's
know
what
this
his
guy.
motivation is at this point.
Hey, look, if he does good for us, that's great. But I mean, there's plenty of other people available that we could have picked up.
Sean, let me say this too. The fact that he's never played football before and he's a basketball player, I'm going to just put it out there. That just means he's light in the ass, bro. Like, that's all it is. It means he's light in the ass, and he can't, like, honestly, the first good hit he takes,
Right.
he's done. Like, that's all it is. And that's what we really need to say. It's like these – I'm trying to tell you, Sean, you remember, all these basketball players could not sit with us.
They tried to cross over.
Like, they were like, oh, we need a wide receiver. Why don't you come out and play football with us next year? Oh, I'm gonna do it next year, but the way my ankle is set up, and that's how they did it. And then the next year they come out, not even 2 weeks.
No,
not even 2 weeks.
They didn't last through 2 days. No,
bro.
Sir.
It's like they're not about this life, man. They're
Right.
not. So,
They're not.
nah, man. Nah, until he shows me something, I can't be on his. I can't be on this train, bro. I can't.
You're so right. Every year in March, there's some basketball player playing in college, and then they talk about giving him the chance in the NFL as a tight end. You know, was it VCU's Mo Alley Cox, who actually has made it? You know, and played, but it's taken him a long while. Remember when George Mason made that run to the Final Four? And they're a big dude. He tried out for the Giants. It's like it's every year at this time they go, oh, he's a basketball player. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
He could be a tight end.
He could be a tight end in the NFL.
Right.
Shut up.
Hey, look, it's very rare that it happens. You don't have very many crossover players in any sport. I mean, you have Bo Jackson, you have Dion, but these guys were Hall of Famer. I mean, Bo, it's up in the air because he didn't play as long, but still, they were that type of caliber. They were that caliber of player. You know, even when you look at, we were talking about Jimmy Graham, he was dominant in the U. Antonio Gates learned the position and played it well. This guy, we don't even know if he's played major ball. You know what I mean? Because Tulane is not major, you know, with their football program or whatever. But we have to move on, man.
And 6'5" ain't that big either, bro.
Not. And
260 is not that big.
Yeah, 260, not that big either. Now, I will say he did run a 4.640. So not super fast, but I definitely like that he's got a little bit of wheels, and if we can bring out some positives. But
bring Vernon Davis back. That's it.
I mean, there you go. I mean, he older than dirt, but let's go. But we on to Washington's schedule has come out, so I am going to add this to the stream. You can see we have Atlanta, in Carolina, in Dallas, in Denver, in Green Bay, in New York. Go to the Ravens. Go to Philly. Then we got New York, the Giants, Cowboys, Philly, all coming here. New Orleans coming here. Tampa, Kansas City, an upstart Chargers team. Seattle with all their issues, and then we also go to Buffalo. Now the dates and all that stuff have not been set or anything just yet, but those are a list of the squads we will be playing. Will, I'm gonna come to you, man. I mean, you see, we got New Orleans, KC, and Tampa Bay all coming here. We got to go to Buffalo. We got to go to Green Bay. What you think, Will?
You know I love my Washington football team. Let me see if I'm doing this backwards. I'm a little bit nervous about what we're going to be seeing a lot of next year. I mean, when you win first place, you get the first place schedule, and we all know we weren't exactly a first place team last year. So now we're playing all of our opponents. We get the first place guy from the other division. So that's going to be pretty tough. Playing Green Bay, playing Tampa Bay, Kansas City, and I think actually that's like the whole division we play. But yeah, it's going to be a tough schedule next year. I'm not too optimistic just yet about it. Even with all the improvements they're making, I think next year is going to be a grind. But hopefully, the whole rest of the NFC East is a grind. It can be the NFC least again, and we can just grind out enough. But I don't think I think we got it tough next year.
Yeah. Man, what you got?
Scroll up for me a little bit, because honestly, I could argue that we possibly could lose every home game. Like, for real. Like, that is an argument for real. Like, we could lose every home game, bro. The division games are different. I'm talking outer division games, but outer division games, we could legit lose almost every game. And I see Kansas City. I think that game might be closer than anybody. Like, I know a lot of people will be like, "Oh, we're gonna get crushed in that game," but y'all need to realize that Kansas City let go of their two offensive tackles, starting offensive tackles this year. So, depending on the time of year we play them, it might be a closer game and to a more competitive game. Can you scroll up for me? Let me see the top part.
Yep.
So Atlanta, Carolina, Dallas, Denver. Yeah. The away games we're competitive in. The home games it's gonna be
a lot of
hard
trouble,
up.
man.
It's gonna be some hard up shit. So
Glad I'm not a season ticket holder.
Telling me.
It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a 500 year, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now. Like Atlanta, was it? Scroll down a little bit. Like Kansas City would be it. Like I would want to say Tampa Bay might be a chance for us, even though they are Super Bowl champions. But we have their tag as of last year. Like our defense stepped up to their offense, regardless of how much they are on the field by next year. I think we would give them a close game just because we already started to work out how their offense played.
What y'all think about that being the first game of the year?
Atlanta.
Ooh.
Y'all remember? So Super Bowl champion goes against a team, another team. And so we were the one team that was competitive against them in the playoffs. Yeah. That might be a possibility right there.
Prime game.
I'm telling you, man, that would be a good game. Really, I could see, Dallas, Giants, Eagles. Yeah, that's all our conference. That's a toss-up. Yeah. But Saints, because they're going to have a new quarterback next year, that's going to be like a whole half a year for them to really find out if that works out for them. So I'm going to call for us to win that game. But Tampa Bay, Seattle, LA, I'm on the fence for us just because Seattle's going to have a mixture of a lot of new people on their team. Mm-hmm. They've got a whole year to figure that out. And LA is just – they're going to be fighting within their division more than they are going to be with us. And, I think we're just going to take it from them.
So, you got to look at this schedule, and this is kind of what we can be thinking about with the draft here. Look how many franchise quarterbacks we're going to be going up against. Just look through those and how many of those teams have their.
That's what I was seeing.
Set.
I
You
get
know, it's like as good as we talk about our defense. What I see, maybe Carolina's an unknown right now. Denver, Drew Lock, but and then obviously the Giants. But outside of our divisions, like those are franchise quarterbacks at every single one of those teams. As much as we praise our defense, they better get ready next year.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's the challenge. That's going to be their challenge next year. Is they took everybody's name last year for how they proved that they could step up, they could be there. Everybody on the line was going to push, and I really do feel for that fact right there. Is like there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks saying we're just going to demolish them. Buffalo's going to be there. But I really feel like that is a good fact to think about going into next year.
And again, we don't know when exactly these games will be played. As you can see, it says date to be determined. So I add to your point, I would love if we were that exclusive first game season opener. We did give Tampa everything that they could ask for. We played them to the end. And let's be honest, Chase Young has something to prove. He said his piece. He called out the GOAT on the way to a Super Bowl, did what he did, and Chase didn't play the best of games. Not to the level that we expect him to play. So that I'm eager to see them step up. The game I'm honestly worried about is that Chargers game. I think they're going to have a revamped team. I think with Bosa and you got the quarterback Herbert. I think they got they made some moves on the O-line. Like I really kind of am worried about that, but 8-8 is kind of what I agree with where we're going to go. What are you saying, Ab?
I was going to argue that the whole defense didn't play up to what we thought they were going to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? If anything, which was surprising, the offense was the best part of that game. That playoff game, the offense was the one that showed out more than the defense did, and that's what I was surprised with. I agree with you. The Chargers game, I think all those teams are going to be revamped except for Denver. I think Denver is, unless they pick up a quarterback this year, I don't think you can really say too much about Denver at all. But
what do you guys think? I mean, Green Bay hasn't really done a whole lot either as well.
Green Bay has legit.
Still got Aaron Rodgers.
They were a field goal fourth down decision from the
Yeah, they still got Aaron Rodgers, man.
If anybody carries the team on their back, it's Aaron Rodgers. They said F you and your wide receivers, Aaron Rodgers. And what did this dude do? Became MVP. Bro, come on, man.
Yep.
Come on.
And he hosted Jeopardy. So that's it. So that's just
too distracted.
All right, man. So look, let's move on. And one more thing that we do have, and like it, love it, or hate it, Michael Lombardi said that, and Will, I'm gonna go to you because you know exactly who this guy is. Michael Lombardi said Washington loves Trey Lance, and amid all these trades, that Washington's the next team to move up. So, Will, like it, love it, or hate it?
I hate it. But more importantly, I think it's completely false. I think he has a clue as to what he's saying.
Yeah.
Tell me, if you look at our free agency, did we know any of the players that we were going after? Maybe Curtis Samuel. We had an idea. But when they signed that Monday night, they signed Fitz. Didn't that surprise us? I don't think we talked about Fitzpatrick at all on this show as a possibility.
Yeah.
In Jackson, we weren't really talking about him as like, hey, I think this is, we said we liked him, but we weren't like, here's one I really think they're going to go after, because I thought he'd be too expensive.
Yeah, I thought Sean said Fitzpatrick.
I said I liked him, but I didn't think we were going to go after him. I said I liked him. I wished for him.
Yeah.
The thing I've noticed about this regime is there are no leaks coming out of Ashburn anymore.
Right.
The local reporters who really know these guys are not getting information. So I think Lombardi's talking out of his ass, to be honest with you. But I will say this. If Trey Lance, if they want or like Trey Lance, and he were to come to DC, that would be one of the situations that would be advantageous for him to do what Dwayne Haskins didn't, which was sit for a year because they've got Fitzpatrick. There is no pressure to play this guy and let him learn and develop. So they aren't a bad situation for him because I don't think he's a day one starter. I don't think you can go necessarily. And I will say some of the other Division I AA quarterbacks that have been hyped the way he is, you're talking Carson Wentz, Joe Flacco, not as high, but Jimmy Garoppolo had, and they've turned out in the NFL. So if you're worried about can guys like that make the jump, there have been others. But really for me is I don't want to move up like that, and I don't think this is the year to make that move. I would rather them do that next year. I want them to build the team, then go after the quarterback. So there's a lot of hate there for me as to why I hope Lombardi is talking out of his book.
Yeah, and I got to shout out Ab, man. I'm coming to you next, Ab, because I hate it because this, like you said, well, it is BS. But like you said, Ab, we've been moving real slow and doing things differently. Like you, I was sitting here hitting you guys up. Wait, we're not doing anything. We're not doing anything. You said, wait, we're just gonna do it nice. And all the moves we made it, like you said, they have been people that were not like Chris Hamill maybe, but some of the other ones were like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? I was excited about Fitz and everything, but I think this is just them blowing smoke up. Like when they have those 3-team trades and all that nonsense that they're coming up with. And I think this is the same propaganda machine that hyped up Mr. Samus Reyes as the next, second coming of a great tight end. You know what I mean? I think this is just all that ish that comes out before the draft just to get people, the clickbait that gets people interested in this. I like Trey Lance, but he comes from he went to North Dakota State, correct?
Yeah.
The Bison. Who's the last quarterback to make it big at a North Dakota State?
Wentz.
And what's he doing? Barely hanging on in Indianapolis. So Ab, come to, hey, look, injury. Yeah. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna stop talking. Ab, go to you, man. Go ahead, man.
Okay, first off, I don't think DC is to me. I've said this before. DC's not the spot to groom a quarterback. Like it really isn't, especially a quarterback you mortgage the farm for. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you do it for a black quarterback. Like the dude, let's give this, let's put it out there like that. I mean, he's half black, right? Like I'm not even I'm not trying to make fun or the dude's got some melatonin in him, right?
Now, Ab, on the color scheme, he's a little higher like you. He ain't one of the Field brothers like us. He's a little higher skin. If we gonna go there, let's be all the way 100.
Wow.
I'm just saying. Trey's a light brother. He's a light brother.
And the man is speechless.
The guy got some melatonin in him, man. Don't he?
Yes.
Okay. So all I'm saying is we aren't the most patient with our quarterbacks. One, and to add the fact that he's black is not going to be on his side. So to move up for this man, we would be doing him a disservice. I wholeheartedly think it would be a disservice. And just like you were saying, Sean, was it Mike Lombardi? He's sitting there saying we need a quarterback and we have 8 picks in the draft so we can make moves, and he's looking at Dan Snyder, the old Dan Snyder, and he's like, oh, he's gonna jump and like Dan Snyder goes after what he wants. Dan Snyder hasn't controlled this team in years, bro. So let's be real about that. And and this is why we argue, what you guys arguing with me is because no one takes into factor what Ron Rivera is and how Ron Rivera moves. Ron Rivera has been moving slowly, and he's not a person to jump to get what he wants. He's like, if it falls to me, bet. Bet. Like let's do that. But he's not the type of person to be like, I'm going to trade 2 first rounders for the next 2 years to try to win now. You know what I'm saying? Like these wins last year just fell in his lap, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna move accordingly. But that's where Michael Lombardi is thinking of. He's thinking this is the old Redskins, let me just say that, the old Redskins, not Washington football team, the old Redskins, and that's not where we're at. Ron Rivera has this team on the new, moving differently, and to move differently, we're taking our time. Honestly, if Trey Lance falls to us at 19, or let me say this, if Trey Lance even goes to like 15, I think Ron Rivera might be like, okay, I didn't think he'd fall this far. Let me jump up to 15 or something like that to get him. But to jump up to what everyone's predicting, number 8, Carolina, or even Denver at 9, I don't see that happening. So if Trey Lance falls, I'm all about it. Ron Rivera's all about it. But if they're like, oh, we're jumping up to 8 or 9 to get him, or hell, even 4, that's ridiculous in itself right there. It's not going to happen.
Right.
No. Ant, what's up?
I mean, I definitely, I do agree with you a little bit there. Jumping up that high, I don't think it's reasonable for us right now. Like Rivera has definitely taken the patience of staying where he is, and for taking his picks. And I mean, we will ruin Trey's career if he tries to come here. There really is no point. And I'm not trying to make it a bad thing, but you have 2 white quarterbacks in front of him.
3.
You're right. So, the chances of him trying to actually get here would be like 2 or 3 years down the road. And it may be a good learning experience, but I don't think it'll be a good experience for him. And I think he would be a better chance somewhere else. Now, like he says, if he gets down to 15, and I think there would be like a hidden envelope to like, all right, maybe we can try and go for Trey Lance, but I don't think it's going to be a detriment to try and go for him that far. Not at all.
I honestly feel like this is one of those reports where somebody who wrote out the report and they just put Washington in there, but really there's like 20 teams really like Trey Lance and think they might move up for him. You know what I mean? Because I haven't heard us say anything about, liking him or really going after him or really scouting him heavy. You know what I mean? And we have other positions, and everything that, like you said, Ab, everything that Rivera is doing is against what this report would say. Everything Rivera is doing is kind of like, I got quarterbacks. I'm not going to reach like we were talking about, and I'm going for positions. I'm building a team, not just trying to get me something right now and be like, look at this shiny new toy. And I think you hit the nail on the head. It's exactly the opposite of the Redskins move. This is a move that is a Washington football team. We're not doing this stupid stuff, being the offseason all-stars. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, hey, and look, with that, I think that's a perfect question, because 2 weeks, April 29th, it is the draft. It is the draft where all this conjecture, all these things that we've been talking about will finally come to fruition, where we will say with the 19th pick, the Washington football team selects. Well, who do we select? You're the GM. You have the 19th pick. What do you do? We just talked about what Mike Lombardi was talking about trading up to potentially get a Trey Lance. We've also talked about potentially trading back, getting somebody, getting some other picks from other teams and potentially picking up maybe a receiver or one of these linebackers that might move back. Or do we just stay put and see what happens? Ab, if you're ready,
Nope, I want to go last.
Oh, there we go.
I want to go
so
last.
hey, well then bet. You know what? I'm gonna hit it. I'm gonna start first.
Go ahead, bro.
Personally, what I would do, what I would do personally is I would not trade up for anything. I would like to potentially trade up, but I would not trade up for anything in the top 5 or 10. I don't want any of these the Lawrence, anything that's going to mortgage a future. A lot of what I like, actually, we all just discussed, is if some of these guys, if Micah Parsons, because my main goal right now, as if I'm coming in as GM, is I'm thinking, all right, what is our biggest weakness? Our biggest weakness is LB. We need that middle linebacker. We need somebody that's going to make a difference. So what I want to do is I'm going to sit at 19 because I think that people could come to 19. However, if there is somebody to me that I would switch up and say I'm trading up for them, it would be a Rashawn Slater. It would be a potential lineman, or, and this is going to shock y'all, but seeing Al, we just dropped the tight end to pick one. We all know Kyle Pitts is not going to drop down, but if he were to go past 11 or 12, I would consider making that. Now that's not, obviously that's all conjecture. That's all things that we're just thinking. Maybe this will have, maybe that. But if Kyle Pitts would be the type of person as an immediate need that we can get on the field. We already know how good he can be. Other than that, I would potentially trade up for a Rashawn Slater. I really like him in line. I think we can keep him for a couple years, have him going strong. But it's strictly position based. But if everything goes as planned, and all the teams pick as they're going to, and Pitts gets picked up in the top 5 to 7, and Rashawn Slater potentially gets picked up at 10, 11, 9, 10, 11, something like that, and these guys get picked up, I'm sitting right where I'm at, and I'm going for the guy I've talked about, Xavier Collins. I'm looking at Jeremiah OK, and that would be the best. That would be the best kind of problem, having a Jeremiah OK and having a Xavier Collins right here, and saying, who do I want? I got a chance to get both, one or the other. So sitting back is definitely something that I've always felt fine with, and I think that's the move we're going to make. But if there was anybody, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I'll say sit. I'm saying sit. I know I said trade up, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So I'm saying I'm sitting right here, waiting for those 2 linebackers to come, potentially an old lineman, Vera Tucker, and see if he's there. And what you doing?
Wait, so your final answer is
stay. Yeah. My final answer is I'm staying for the linebacker. Unless those 2 guys I'm staying for Xavier Collins or JOK. Okay. Xavier Collins has been my number 1 from day 1, but I'm trying to give y'all a little, divvy it up a little bit. So JOK or Xavier Collins. Stay put.
So where did Tucker come from? You just said Tucker.
Well, yeah, because Vera Tucker he's been in the mock drafts, he's been put at 20.
Right.
So if by chance JOK I think could potentially go a lot earlier. And I also think that if people are looking at Xavier Collins like we are, I think that one of those teams between Dallas at 10, New York at 11, and Philly at 12, I think one of those 3 teams might snag him in spite of us. So I really feel like if it comes back to it, those would be my 3 tops. But Xavier is where I'm starting with at 19, staying put.
Okay, go ahead.
Good? All right, Ant, what you got?
So I've been, we talked about what kind of spots we want in our draft, and I've kind of stuck with wide receiver. So having that spot now, Curtis Samuel has made a definite and will make a definite impact to the wide receiver circle that we have. And I mean, I've been stuck on Rondale Moore, for the last couple months, just looking at him. And I've actually also looked at Thaddeus Looney, I think that's his name, from Florida. Young kid, and I think Lonnie.
Who?
Oh, Tony.
Kadarius Toney.
Yes.
Kadarius Toney, yeah.
I think with Curtis and McLaren both helping him out. I think he has a bright future with those two in front of him. With, you know, having that veteran and having that sophomore in football and him just climbing right with them, I think he could be a detriment if we pick him up. Now, in mock drafts, I've seen him as high as 13, 12 on some people's list. But I've seen him also as low as 22. So I really think we could benefit if he hits at the 19 spot. I don't want to move up for anybody else, because that would mean we're trying to make one position our main goal. And I don't think that's Rivera's mainstream. He doesn't want that. He wants to make the whole team work together, fluid. He doesn't, like we've been saying, he doesn't want to go for that big guy. He's not dropping everything or trades to just go for this one dude. He's all right. If this lands in my lap, I'm going to like it. But I'm going to stick with those two, Rondell Moore and Thaddeus Tooney, because those two could literally learn from our whole our wide receiver roster.
Kadarius Toney.
Kadarius.
Now, let me ask you this. Would you trade back? Because I think Rondell potentially – I'm pretty sure Rondell's going to be there even through the second round. Would you potentially trade back and see what you can get picks and see if you can push back to see if you can wait and get them?
No.
Because a 19 – well, go ahead.
I wouldn't, just because, he's talented to grow, but we're set right now. We just need somebody that's going to learn with them. And that's why I say I'm not going to move anywhere. Like, I'm not going to move down. I'm not going to move up for somebody. Like, if those two literally still have not been taken up, I'm taking one of them.
You said those two. Which two again?
Kadarius Toney and Rondell Moore.
Okay.
From Purdue.
Yeah.
Like, those have been two kids I've been looking at, and I think just because Samuel making a big impact, with McLaren now that they're college guys working together now on the same team. Like, as much as I want to be okay with that, that was the Haskins McLaren thing last year, and now this year we're trying to have this again. So, like, is it really that much of an impact to have two teammates on the same team?
Yeah, but Samuels is better. He's proven.
I mean, we'll see.
That's another argument that we're not even doing right now. Y'all need to stop trying to bait me. I'm trying to be good right now.
I just say that in retrospect to the new quarterback.
So I see it. So you're staying put. Darius Toney, Rondell Moore.
I'm good. I'm good with that.
I like that. I like that. Go ahead, Will.
All right. I'm boring. You guys know my answer here. Left tackle Christian Darrisaw from Virginia Tech.
Yep.
If he's not there, I would look into the dude that you mumbled at the very end there, Sean, Vera Tucker from USC, because he can play tackle guard. You don't know. And with Sadiq Charles, he can play tackle guard. We don't know. I think they can be an improvement over Cornelius Lucas, which will make the line better, which will make Gibson better, which will make Fitzpatrick better, which gets the receivers open. I think that is key for us. And I also go left tackle because this is contrary to what we all say on here. But two reporters that I respect a lot with the team, Ben Standig, John Kime, have said that the team is higher on John Bostic than we are as fans, and that they do not see us necessarily going linebacker like we all thought we needed to, because they actually think that Bostic is better and improved as the year went on. There's still a linebacker hole there, but as you know, in the beginning of the offseason, I was with y'all saying we need two linebackers. It doesn't necessarily seem like, between Holcomb and Bostic, that they feel the same way. So hearing that, I'm thinking left tackle, improve it. Let's get our Trent Williams for the next 10 years. Let's hope that Darrisaw and Tucker are our Trent Williams for the next 10 years, and let's slowly improve that offensive line.
Gotcha. So you got left tackle. All right. What you got, man?
All right. So just to recap right now. Sean,
Yep.
you got who?
Linebacker. I got linebacker Xavion Collins.
Or Jeremiah. Okay.
Yeah, JOK.
And you got locker room guys. Anton, right? Like
There is
support.
Wow, locker room guys.
That's
You
what you
got
said.
receivers.
Locker room guys.
Yeah,
Locker room
receivers.
guys. That's what you said.
Wow.
He got receivers. He got
Come
So
on, I
you
mean,
got-
come on, come on, bring it.
So Kadarius Toney and
We're
who
waiting
else?
for your useless facts.
Rondell Moore.
Moore.
Rondell Moore.
Rondell Moore. Okay. Kadarius Toney. He'll be drafted in the first round, I believe. Second, Rondell Moore, definitely second round. And I think it's a reach to try to draft him in the first round. And especially with as deep as the wide receiver class is this year, especially for slot receivers, I don't see that being a priority and staying put at 19. So I mean, I'm poking fun, but
That's
at the same
the
time,
one reason why we're going at at your Rivera reason. Like he wants something to fall in his lap. He's not seeking one person. And I think those two would, if they were to go the first round, I think he would choose them.
but if anything, we would trade back because Ron Rivera also puts the factor in is that this wide receiver class is really deep. It's so deep that we probably won't even go wide receiver in the first 2 rounds. Like I'm putting that out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So
So who are you going with?
can I finish?
We're waiting.
Can
You
I
just ripped all his
Can I
stuff. Who are
finish?
you
I
going?
let each and every one of you mugs talk.
That's why you want to go
And
at.
we started with
nothing.
players.
And not even
We started
say
with
one
players, and you just
thing
go ripping
at
on our
all.
picks.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
Bro, let's go. Let's go. Want the smoke?
Will with that smoke.
So
I'll mute myself.
what did you say?
He's gonna mute himself. He's muted.
As far as offensive line, I don't see that I don't see that being the move either. I think we got at least one offensive lineman that we really like, or at least want to see what they got before we move somebody else in. It's good to have another person. I think it's always good to have depth there, but Sadiq Charles didn't even have a chance. He played one play before he was on IR, and I think they really want to try and see what that dude has. Honestly, I agree with you on Bostic. I never thought of us releasing Bostic. I like Bostic as far as a player. What was he, number 1 or number 2 in tackles on our team? He was up there, and he's fairly cheap too. So I like that move. Honestly, I like linebacker. I don't like, to me, just like you said, Sean, JOK has the potential of being taken up 10, 11, 12, 13, especially at least by Las Vegas Rams, not Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah. I think like they need help on defense immensely.
Yeah.
If I'm going to say something, if I have to pick, I'm picking. We're going to have to trade back, and let me just say this first. I think it depends. It really does depend on everyone that is picked up and everything like that. Just like you said, Sean, if you said it would be surprise, I don't think it is a surprise. If Pitts falls, I think that's a move that we would literally jump on. Yep. I honestly, wholeheartedly believe that, and it's just the guy's potential, and then add that to Logan Thomas. That's awesome. But but to me, I don't think he falls out of 10. He doesn't fall out of 10. And honestly, I don't see us moving up for anybody unless they fall and that the only person I can really think of that will fall is Trey Lance or Justin Fields. And for us to try to for the later teams that we're not really even talking about, New Orleans Saints. Like, honestly, I know that they got the two quarterbacks, but I don't think they're too sure on either of them. So I think they jumped up a few years ago for Davenport and the defensive end, and so they're known to jump forward, make like for what they think is a good move for their team, for what the future they think is on their team, especially they don't have a quarterback. If Trey Lance falls, I think we should look for the New Orleans Saints to jump up a few teams to try to get them. So we need to also look at Chicago Bears for jumping for Trey Lance too. I think they're more desperate than we are. They're more likely to jump. So, so my pick, to me, we trading back, and if we're trading back, we're going to trade back for a linebacker.
Okay. So you're saying we should shop that pick. We should shop it to try to see what people are looking for, like what people are trying to offer us for the 19.
I say no. What I say is, I think we should sit back and see what the scenario is, because I don't think it's just one sure plan for what this draft is. I think it's literally to see what everyone.
Draft.
I'm sorry.
You want to play it by ear for the draft?
Yeah, like literally see what everyone else is doing, and then you know what I'm saying, like it's like. You know how I said a few weeks ago, I said Miami Dolphins are playing. Was it Miami Dolphins that did the two trades? Was that them? Yeah. So, yeah, they're playing chess while we're all playing checkers, while we're all playing Uno. Like, literally, like these guys are doing, like, and that's what we need to do is see what these other teams are doing and then move like that, you know? See what the best case scenario is.
So you're playing, so you're playing it by ear. See what arrives, you know, when it arrives, and see how everything. I understand.
But when it's time for you to pick, you're saying linebacker.
Linebacker.
Whether it's 19, 24, 26, whatever pick it is, you want linebacker.
I want that, but to me, I think.
But that's the question. If you're the GM,
you are the GM.
Yeah, you're the GM. You're the GM. So at that pick, that's what we're saying. Who would you pick? Like, just to pick a player. Like that was the question. You were the GM, and we know how it could potentially play out, and everything's based on the trades. But who would you go with
when I trade back?
Yeah.
When I trade back, I'm going to pick. I had to say linebacker still. I would still say linebacker. I'd even say move back into the second round for a linebacker too. Like, honestly, we're talking about future of our team. We could always get our franchise quarterback next year with all those extra draft picks from moving back this year. So we do that. Honestly, we don't have to get Xavier Collins. We don't have to get Jeremiah Okay. We could get Jamin Davis. Is that his name?
From Kentucky.
Yeah, that's what Jack was saying last week.
Yeah, from Kentucky. We can get him in the second round. By that time, we trade back twice.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's this year's picks and next year's picks. So you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I like that. I agree with that. Let's get some more picks. Let's definitely
I hope. I mean, we always say let's trade back because, like you say, if the philosophy is spot on. I hope that 19 there is somebody that has slipped that someone else would want. You know, because when you start to hit that late teens, early 20s, you're kind of getting in that does somebody fall, or are you kind of in that just pick somebody? You know, it's not as attractive.
But this is another thing too. It's a lot of teams from the early second round that are trying to jump into the first round to get that fifth-year option. That's what you guys.
That is key.
Yeah. So a lot of teams will be like, okay, we want a really good guy, because what you guys said earlier, is that what you guys didn't add in is that first round, when you pick first round, that's a starter. That's essentially who you are trying to get to start on your team. And that's where I disagree with you, Anton. And no poking fun at all. I'm not trying to make fun of you at all or anything. But when you pick first round, essentially you're picking a starter, immediate day one starter. You're not looking for somebody to sit behind, i.e., not quarterback. Like like you can do that with quarterback. Any other position, no. You're looking for a starter. So that's what's essential when you're picking in the first round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, so to elaborate more on this question, I have to then ask the question, and I'm gonna come to you, Ab, because like you already answered it, and I kind of wanted to cut you off and just segue into it because you already answered it. Bro. No, you're good. No, you're perfect. That's the perfect part of the conversation because you were talking about if there was a player, there's nobody that we're all kind of in agreement. There's nobody that we're really like, we're going to move up and get this guy. Nobody, we're all kind of in this place. From what I hear is that we are fine and we think we're going to sit where we're at, see all the chaos that unfolds in front of us. And unless somebody like a Justin Fields or Kyle Pitts drops to us, we're not going to make that move. But who else is it, Ab? Is Kyle Pitts the only guy that you would move up for? Justin Fields, if he dropped below a 10, like, is there anybody that you would say, yes, I will give you a couple players to do that? Or is it just no?
Like, to me, it depends on how far we're moving up. That's literally what it is. And it depends, like, how far we're moving up and how far they fell. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Pitts, everyone's just talking about Pitts being the first non-quarterback to be picked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's being discussed as the first player before even Jamar Chase, the first wide receiver being picked up. So, to me, if this guy falls into the 10s, 11, 12, dude, that's when you got to make that jump. You really, really do. And Washington Redskins, Washington football team, we're known for picking up people that slide. Like, it's the last few years, Jonathan Allen, Daron Payne, Dwayne Haskins. What's up?
Montez Sweat.
Like, all these guys fell. These guys slid down the first round, and we're like, we jumped on these guys. To me, it's the same thing. If one of these players that are like, we're like, they're sliding, I think that's when we don't want to take that chance of someone else picking them up. Yeah, I think you make that move. Pitts, if one of the premier offensive tackles slid, okay, Slater or the guy from Oregon,
Penei Sewell.
Yeah,
Penei Sewell. Yeah,
one of the wide receivers. And I'm not talking about the second ones that we're all been discussing, like Bateman, Rondell, Tony. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking like a Waddle or Chase or
Smith,
like, you know what I'm saying? What's this?
Devonta Smith.
Yeah. If one of them falls, that's when you be like, okay, I'm gonna reconsider me moving up.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, Will, what you think, man?
Yeah, so I'm going to go against what I said in the last segment. The guy that I would trade up to go get, if you're trading up a couple picks, is if Micah Parsons falls past all the NFC East teams, 10, 11, 12. So from 13 on, I would look to give up, if it's going to give up your second round pick this year or next year, whatever it takes, I would go up a couple spots to get him, because while I say they like Bostic and Holcomb and they don't need this linebacker, he is a 3-down linebacker. He could play outside. He could play inside. He's versatile. And, I mean, I will say I have flashbacks of watching him, and is he going to turn into LeVar Arrington, who, in my opinion, was not a successful NFL player. So I have some concerns about it, but he's got this ability that I think he could make an impact on that second level to where I would look into him. And I just hope I don't understand some of the mocks saying like Detroit should look at him at number 7 because their defense was so horrid. I just wonder, can that position make that big an impact for that defense, or should they be looking elsewhere? Should they be looking at helping Goff with a stud wide receiver, or Pitts Falls, or a left tackle, or I'm going to mute you, Anton. I see you're trying to talk. I'm going to hit you out. I see you going after me.
That's this guy right now.
That's the wrong guy. But yeah,
so middle linebacker. So Micah Parson is a middle linebacker. Like he's
both.
Like he's the general on the defense. Essentially, that's what that position is. He's the Peyton Manning of the defense. And so, to me, would you still hold him in that high regards with his character issues? Because that's the only reason why a lot of teams see him falling is because he
wasn't it like some
one thing to have the talent, but if you're going to get in the league and do who's our middle linebacker that we picked from San Francisco?
Reuben Foster.
If you're going to do a Reuben Foster, what's the point of picking you up in the first round if you're just going to shit your opportunity out in a matter of 2 years?
Well, I will tell you, Ron Rivera isn't going to touch someone like that, like a Reuben Foster. Now, I did hear.
I'm not saying Ron Rivera. I'm just saying you. Like, would you still hold him in high regards, knowing that?
Yeah. Well, I think you'd have to learn about. I think every situation is different. What people get in trouble for. I think there's levels of what people get in trouble for, and is this likely to come back? Like there were warning signs on various guys that we ignored. Stuff like that. There were some warning signs on Reuben Foster that either San Francisco ignored or we ignored in big time. I'm not so familiar with the Parsons situation. I heard there was some type of like fight among teammates or whatnot. So, I can't speak as to not knowing it, but I'm just, when I'm talking like ability wise, he would be the type of player where I'd say like, you know what? While I don't think they're going linebacker, he would be the type of player that could make a big impact. And I'd say he's worth giving up some.
Okay, nice. And what you got, man?
I mean, I didn't see a lot for myself to really like go for, and against what these guys are saying for a linebacker, I really feel like if we were going to trade up, name that's been popping out to me is J.C. Horn. And that's the kid from South Carolina. He's been actually popping up higher and higher in the list of I've been seeing from like a month ago. So either he's doing really good at the combine or he's making a good impression with somebody on the coach's staff. And I feel like with, our kind of growth of defense that we're getting right now, I think he would be really good to start with us next year. He's got the young legs. He's great in zone. I mean, he's a great reader, so he knows where that quarterback's going to throw. And I think, 4 games down the road, I think he could really benefit our defense. So if
J.C. Horn is coming from DBU, so that is a great selection there, Anton. He would be a great Washington football player.
I mean, I like. There's some names where like you don't see them the first couple weeks of mock draft, and then you see their name creep up. And as much as I want to say we do need an offensive line for the backside, I think we do need a little bit of help in that defense, in that CB area. And we haven't, we've been going back and forth with Moorhead, with Fuller, and all this other stuff. And I think he could probably make a big name for himself there.
I like that. Honestly, I like what you're saying, Ab. I completely agree with you on Pitts. Pitts to me is that guy. Like if some way, shape, or form he drops to anywhere under 10, 11, 12, because those are division rivals, so they're not gonna give it to us. Drops to a 13, we need to be all over that. we definitely need to be all over that because I think he could be a game-changing tight end. Penei Sewell's another one. I mean, everybody still has him at 5. They still have him very high in the draft, but I mean, let's be honest. He was off of a year. Him and Chase sat last year with the whole COVID protocol, so that's a year of rust. So I don't who knows. Maybe if he slips down, I would move up after 13 to pick him up. But then you have the Jalen Waddles. You have those guys, like those 3 guys on the top of my head right now. I think actually Penei Sewell, Kyle Pitts, or Jamar Chase. I just don't think there's any chance of Jamar Chase dropping. But I can see a Jalen Waddle or a Devontae Smith still like either dropping or dropping enough to where we're kind of like, if there's a right trade out there, right. If there's a trade that we don't lose too much capital on, I think that the fact that we have not been doing so much and we have been kind of real quiet, I think that would be perfect to jump up and get a game-changing player like that. I do. Now, with that being said, we've seen who we're going to go up for. We all came and say who we want. I went with linebacker. Ab went with wide out. Or Ab, you went with linebacker, dropping back in the draft, or seeing how it plays out. Will, you went with left tackle, and Anton, you went with wide out. Anton, I'm gonna come to you first. Is there, if you're sitting at 19, you don't move up, you don't move back, what player that if he dropped in your lap, you would say, forget wide receiver, forget whoever else, I'm going to get this guy?
That's a good one.
You mean come back to you?
Very good question.
That's a good question. Honestly, like as hard as it is to, we discussed it, like that's a good thing to think about. And not, I mean, Justin Fields, like if with whatever strategy there is, and that man lands on a lap after Lawrence gets picked, you've got other quarterbacks that might go in front of him. Like that's like one. It's like, okay, yoink, let me get him right now. Like that would be one.
Yep. I like that. Will, what you got, man?
Yeah, so this reminds me of just Dallas last year where CeeDee Lamb, all of a sudden they were like, what? All right, let's get him. I think they were shocked by it. And so we've said their names. And I have like 2 positions that I was thinking with this. Anton, you said it, corner. If for some reason J.C. Horn or because of this back surgery, Caleb Farley from Virginia Tech, if he slid, I'll tell you folks, between the Giants and what they may do in the draft here, if they get one of these stud receivers, and the Cowboys, we are one injury away from Jimmy Moreland being the starting cornerback. That has a little bit of concern to me. Where if a J.C. Horn or Caleb Farley was there at 19, I may say, now wait a minute. This provides some versatility. Kendall Fuller can slide to free safety when on specific downs. We can bring, we already, that may make me say we need to look at one of these stud corners.
Yeah,
would be if either one of those 2 receivers from Bama fell, because and I thought you said it great to what Anton was saying. Where like Anton, I thought some of the guys you were talking about were players we had. They're good players. I think they're going to be great NFL receivers. But it's like we have that in Curtis Samuel. But those 2 dudes from Bama are ones, and they're fast. Mm-hmm. And if you can let them go to the outside, which means Curtis Samuel can slide to the slot, where he thrived in Carolina, that's going to change your offense as well. So corner would be my first one. But if like Jalen Waddle fell to us, that was there at 19, I might say, well, we'll get a left tackle later.
Yep. What you thinking?
Both. So you said cornerback and wide receiver, like those. Those were Those are good arguments right there. Like honestly, like I can't even argue at all with what they said. Like Waddle or J.C. Horn, or is that what you said, Anton? Was like a
Jason
cornerback?
Horn.
Yeah.
No, that's absolutely correct. Like there's nothing wrong with thinking that way. Honestly, I'm gonna just say quarterback. It's literally quarterback. If one of the top 5 quarterbacks fall to us, you have to do that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've been saying that. I said that earlier today, and I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just depends on how everything falls. Like, especially our team, we always pick up the players that fall to us, like that have a high grade, and they just like, how did the hell did they fall out of the first 10?
Yeah.
Like, we were known for picking those guys. And so if one of the top 5 quarterbacks, like, because I even said it when we first started talking, I said that I don't know if you recall it, but I said there's going to be 4 quarterbacks taken in the first 4 picks. So if the 5th quarterback doesn't get out of the top 10 and he falls to us, that's what we're taking. It's too good of an opportunity for that to happen. And
I mean, I'm gonna wish for Justin to fall right in our lap. So I mean, I'm gonna wish for that.
Could happen.
Yeah, I mean, I can see, like, to me, I can see one of this happening.
Who would you go for, Trey or Justin? Since we
They
talked
both
about
fell?
Trey.
Honestly, I edge it. I edge it because for Justin, I do. But at the same time, it shouldn't be an edge. It really shouldn't. Like, I think Justin is legit, but I'm a little reluctant because he's from Ohio State, and that's my makeup. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I think
that's what everybody there.
Fields is the real deal. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, you took mine. I appreciate you doing that. You already called it out. Quarterback. I mean, it has to be. If Trey Lance or Justin Fields fall to us, I don't care who's on the draft board. Yo, pull the trigger, get them.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't pass on that.
Yeah, somebody's coming off his boat to make that pick.
Huh?
I said somebody's coming off his boat to make that pick.
Oh, right. Well, you know. Yeah. You already know he's coming off the yacht. You already know that.
Right.
He's gonna be like, "Oh, we got him. Okay,
yeah. I'll take that." And then he will go right to the press conference and say, "I made this pick. I did this. Look what I did."
Their phone goes dead and they can't get calls in. Yeah, Snyder's dialing in from out in the Atlantic or Pacific.
The next day, Ron Rivera quits. Like,
the next day he's out.
If I can't control my team, I can't coach.
Look, yeah, it's that. You got to go that. If they drop that fall, them or a Kyle Pitts, they drop that fall. You got to go for that. I love what y'all are saying with corner. Patrick Surtain is another one. If he drops down, I want him. I would love to take him. But it stays there. Quarterback or Kyle Pitts. Those 3 right now. I'm an offensive guy. Ab, you and I are running backs. So I love those guys. One other person I would think I would say it, and I know we got Gibson. I love him. I know we got McKissick, and I love him. But if Najee Harris somehow falls down to 19, I know this is just me. I know, but I just
falls. He is going to fall.
Well, I know. Him and ETN are looked at 16, 17.
No,
so
I'll tell you this, Sean. I'd be surprised if they get picked up any running back gets picked up in the first round.
Yeah,
I'd be surprised about that. I think they'll get picked up second round.
Yeah. ETN I think could be a 3 down back, so I could see him going first.
Right.
But does Harris fit? You know what Washington's doing?
Well, no. But and there's another one that I wanted, and I'm going to talk about this next week. Chuba Hubbard at Oklahoma State. I know he's got that knee issue, but he's not going to get in the first round. He's most likely with the knee injury, he's not going to get in the second round. So I think we can pick him up later in the field, but we will address that next week. Ladies and gentlemen, tune in because next week will be 1 week away from the draft, which is April 29th, ladies and gentlemen. And next week, we will give you our first 4 picks in the draft, our first round, our second round, and our 2 third-round picks. We will pick these players that we are thinking we're going to pick up in this draft. You've seen what we like this week. We've documented what we think we should do, what direction we think we're going to make, and what move we're going to make. I think for the most part, we're mostly in agreement with a little bit different, but at the same time, everything that we've said and discussed today, I can honestly see us somewhat making that move. I agree on what you guys were saying about the wideouts. And that's why I was asking you, Anton, if you would think we should move back, because I think that there'll be Tony, maybe not, maybe is, but Rondell Moore, I think he's going to be available later. I love him, absolutely love him, but I think we can wait till second round to scoop him up. Yeah. So definitely stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen, because as we get closer to the draft, we're going to get more specific on who we are interested in, who do we think is going to make our team better, because that's where we're at right now, ladies and gentlemen. We need to make our team better, because we love all this off-season stuff, but when it gets to August, when it gets to September, and you know the helmets start strapping on and we start hitting, you know, we need a good product on the field, because we need it, guys. We've had some rough years, but we are the division champs. So I will say that. Hey, but look, guys. Hey, this has been another great episode, man. And as we get closer to the draft, it just gets more exciting. Mm-hmm. You know, just shaking in my boots, waiting for the good stuff to happen, man. Waiting for the good stuff to happen. And I gotta say, man, I'm so glad. I got to see my man's face today. I got to see him for a full show. And hopefully we didn't haze you too bad on your welcome back tour. You know,
I'll dust it off. I'll dust it off for right now.
Hey, Sean, his nickname now is Stranger Danger. Like, we should just call him Stranger Danger now. Like, that's it.
Stranger Danger. Let's get it. Yo,
changing.
Anything else on your mind? Anything else?
No.
Or hey, guys, it's been another yo.
I just want to say I appreciate all of you, even you, Anton. Like, honestly, like it's been a blessing for real. Yep. Like, honestly, you guys, I look forward to this every week, and I mean, I appreciate you guys. I don't like you so much, but I appreciate you. So, like, but thank you.
Hey, but I'll say this and as well. You know, love-hate relationship. You be safe on that trip, brother. Like,
no doubt.
We're gonna miss you next week. We need to record your picks so we can include them.
Yes.
So we can call them next week too.
So everyone out there, I'm not going to be here next week. I'm sorry. I gotta go on the road, but Sean, Anton, hopefully, and Will definitely hold it down while I'm not here. You know what I mean? So they put on a great show and everything like that. Honestly, these guys are awesome, man. They're gonna give it to you right, and I'm gonna still give my picks. Just like Sean said, with top 4. He said top 4.
Yeah. Top 4 the first round, second round, and the 2 third-round picks.
Maybe I can, because I'll be on the road by then, so maybe I can call in. Maybe Sean. Yeah. So we'll figure it out. But honestly, we'll talk about it. Going to do it right for you.
Yeah, we're gonna be a love fest next week, Ab. Without you here, we're gonna agree on everything.
We're not gonna have an Oreo moment next week.
Okay. Y'all gonna have a circle jerk.
That's a great joke.
Kumbaya all next week. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, because it will be a kumbaya moment.
Oh, man.
All right. Yes. Hey, and I got to shout out the people who have been watching. Shout out to my man, Anthony Handy. Nick and Delilah definitely checked us out. James, Soul Power Barbers checked us out. Joe Schaefer checked us out. Josh Epperson was on there. Dave was checking us out. Yes, sir.
Oh,
yes, sir. You know, Josh Everson, check this out, man. We got people watching. We so appreciate y'all watching because, like Ab said, this is therapy for us. Every week we sit here and wait for Wednesday like it's payday. All right, like it's like this is it. This is therapy, and with everything that goes on, this is a place where we can come back to and just be like, you know what I mean? Just take a breath, man. Take a breath. Let's go. All right, but look, we got to leave you guys, man. You already know what it is. I'm Sean Spencer. Over to my right, Mr. Moral Support, Mr. Stranger Danger, Anton Benton.
Yeah.
You already know about South Carolina's own Eggplant Dub K, Will Kramer. Hey, and Mr. Moist, Mr. Shirtless Wonder, Ab in the building. Let's get it done. Yes, sir.
Oh, man.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back with you next week talking the draft. Can't wait. Tune in.
All about
Look forward to it, guys. All right, guys.